Right, Sharon Osbourne.
Oh,
Here
now
we go.
this is a story that I have been wanting to talk about because at the crux of it, there are some pretty staggering fundamental arguments. So I'll go over the facts.
Okay.
On the March the 10th episode of The Talk, which is basically a
Yeah.
US version of Loose Women, they have multiple versions of Loose Women. The Talk is one of the shows. Sharon Osbourne and fellow host Sheryl Underwood got into a heated debate over Sharon's public defense of Piers Morgan. So on the program, Sharon was basically accused of enabling racism, and both of these hosts in this confrontation were basically nearly in tears. Because the premise is that Piers Morgan saying he doesn't believe Meghan Markle, as in a black woman or a mixed race woman, just because he doesn't believe what she says in the interview, that apparently makes him racist.
Yeah.
We're talking about Piers Morgan, friend of Naomi Campbell, friend of John Legend. Piers Morgan, who was fundamentally criticising Donald Trump for his lack of empathy when it came to the Black Lives Matter movement, and has advocated for the rights of black people in his books when talking about the George Floyd protests, right? And apparently he is a racist just because he doesn't agree with Meghan Markle. So the crux of this is, right, if we disagree with Meghan Markle, does that make us racist?
Well, apparently. I mean, I suppose in a
Because
nutshell. And whether or not we
thing.
mean it, Josh, our unconscious is definitely racist.
No, because this is the thing. Because we can disagree with someone. I've always been pro-nuance, and particularly on this interview, I've always been kind of looking at it from a point-by-point basis. Do I believe that Meghan Markle didn't previously Google Prince Harry? No.
Of course not.
Any 30-year-old, 20-year-old who uses social media, if they go on a date with somebody, we will go on, like,
It's
have a little look on
unbelievable.
Instagram.
It's unbelievable. You're going out with Prince Harry and you've never, dropped him a Google. Come on.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like, there are certain points. I think Piers' kind of blatant disregard of what everything Meghan's saying, I think maybe it came across as slightly belittling to what she had to say. And that's why I think he was forced to, I quote, fall on his sword when it came to Good Morning Britain, because obviously ITV are running that mental health campaign. But just because he disagrees with Meghan Markle, is he a racist for doing so?
No.
Or does he just look at it and disagree? Because here's the thing. Meghan obviously played the two biggest cards that there are to play at the moment, mental health and race, and the subject of racism in that interview. And unfortunately, I've been looking at plenty of American programs such as Entertainment Tonight, E! News, obviously The Talk, obviously The View. Unfortunately, we got to remember this interview was aimed at American audiences. It had Oprah Winfrey conducting it. It was originally broadcast on CBS. They were using this kind of American style PR machine to paint their own narrative. And it's very clear that the American audiences have, unfortunately, they have a different understanding to the monarchy than we do. So they have unfortunately fallen hook, line and sinker for what Meghan Markle has had to say.
Yeah, they've lapped it up, haven't they? But Sharon Osbourne now, is she actually facing being cancelled herself?
Yes.
I mean, because there was one thing I saw, she was talking to her co-host on The Talk. Yeah. And she actually said at one point, educate me.
Tell me,
please.
How is he racist?
And they basically just went, nah, we're not going to do that. And they just might cancel her. I mean, I just don't understand what you want somebody to do now, because, I mean, that seems to be, she's literally sitting there crying, saying, please educate me about this. And that person decided not to.
And she was literally like, how can I be a racist? I'm just defending my friend. And this is the thing. She's had death threats. People have threatened the livelihoods of her family, even her dogs. She's had to step up security at her house. And she's come out on Entertainment Tonight saying that she was set up because this has come from apparently top level execs telling the showrunners to tell the hosts, the fellow hosts, to ask the questions. And what Sharon claims, that her and her fellow hosts have actually made pacts before behind the scenes when they've been asked to ask difficult questions to each other. So she claims that this was a setup, and basically CBS has taken the show off of air. It was meant to only be like a kind of quick hiatus, but they're now going to conduct a proper internal investigation. The hiatus has been extended and the show has not yet come back to air. So this is very, very serious. And she says this is a setup. This this is a pile-on because some of her fellow co-hosts, such as ex-Scientologist Leah Remini, has accused her of using racist and homophobic slurs to two of her former co-hosts, Sarah Gilbert and Julie Chen. So this is quite serious, and she's facing multiple accusations of using homophobic slurs, all of which she's denied. She says this is utter rubbish. But the fact of the matter is, she says in this interview on Entertainment Tonight, I've been set up. It's a pile-on. People are trying to cancel me purely because she is coming to the defense of Piers Morgan, who also I don't believe is a racist, because we are in every right to criticize Meghan Markle because of our own understanding of the monarchy, because straight away I can say, yes, the private trips, when she's like, I didn't leave the house in 4 months. I couldn't leave the house in 4 months. Yes, I mean, we have to take seriously the claims that she's making against the institution. But come on, when she went to Wimbledon to watch Serena Williams play tennis and then refused to have people take pictures of her because she was there in a private capacity. She's made private trips. Look at the trip to New York for the baby shower.
Yes.
There are several...
The world's most expensive baby shower.
Oh, completely. But that's besides the point. There are several fundamental claims in the interview that, yes, we could say there and then, that does not make sense. That contradicts the fact.
Yeah.
And in us saying so, does that make us racist?
No.
Because according to people in the US, it might.
Well, this is the issue, isn't it? Right, Josh, thank you very much. Stay exactly where you are. We're going to come back shortly. If you want to get involved with this discussion, you can. 03444991000 is that number. Text talk and your message to 87222. Tweet us at talkRADIO. Stay tuned. It's Patrick Christys on Talk Radio.
Online, on DAB, and on the Talk Radio app. Talk Radio.